Right, hello and welcome to 5 Minutes in the Shed. Now, I think this is the final Tiger 90 video in this series, and the reason being for that, Tiger 90 is there. There we go, all lovely. And if you remember, another one. And if you remember, when I started building this bike back in November, I think it was last year, the goal was to rebuild the engine and to take it to the 75th anniversary of the Triumph Motorcycle Owners Club, which was called the Party on the Hill, and it's going to be held at Shelsley Walsh at the Hill Climb, oldest race circuit in the world-ish, and we were going to race it up the hill. Right, that was the plan. And from November, we've been building the engine, building the bike, getting it all ready, and last weekend I raced it up Shelsley Walsh Hill. And it was fantastic, absolutely brilliant weekend. Awesome weekend. So I think this is the final video, right? So this is the story of how that weekend went, right? Yeah, how am I going to tell the story? I don't know how I'm going to edit this or anything. Let's spin you around and I'm going to show you the bike and I'm going to tell you a story about what happened on the way. Okay, so wobbly handheld cam moment, right? So at the weekend, Shelsley Walsh. So there was me, my dad and my two brothers, and we all decided to go together and all camp for the entire weekend, which is brilliant. So I rode down on my finished Tiger 90, which is over here. My dad rode down on his 1967 TR6P, which is an ex-police bike, which doesn't look like a police bike now. Great bike, which he's had for ever. I mean, actually, I crashed that bike in 1995 and did myself some serious damage, but it's all right now. And then one of my brothers rode down on my Thruxton, which is cool. And then my other brother took my camper van over there. Right, so we had the camper van, we had the awning out. We had one of my dad's Tiger Cubs on the trailer. And we rode down on the big bikes. Oh, there's a helicopter going over. How rude! How rude! I'm making a video. So we all assembled at my dad's place to head off on Friday. This is when the first disaster happened, right? So my dad's drive. So the bikes were all lined up on the drive. The camper van was on the drive. The Thruxton was on the drive. Everything was on the drive. And my dad's drive is on like a really steep pitch, right? So we're all pointing nose upwards, but side stand disaster on the old 650. The old 650 tumbled under my dad, knocked my dad over, bike went down, and they were parked in a very similar orientation. The 650 hit my 350, my 350 went down and hit the wall. It was such a crunch. So yeah, we hadn't even left and we had a two-bike crash. However, luckiest crash in the world, right? So all that happened was slight little bend on the exhaust bracket, which bent back no problem at all. And the only damage was a little scuff on the headlamp rim. Extremely lucky. The 650, I think, the handlebar took a scuff. I think the clutch lever took a scuff. That was all. But it did twist the handlebars. So we brute force twisted the fork straight using the handlebars. Big handlebars, very easy. But if you look at that, you see the rubber yoke has gone very loose. So I might have broke something in there. So that needs fixing. So, yeah, after that disaster, my brother Dave did say, do you want me to just throw your Thruxton on the floor to just make the full set? And I'm like, no, we'll leave that. I think we'll leave that one. So, yeah, bit of a disaster before we went. But we got going, heading down the motorway, down towards Worcestershire. I mean, I was on the smallest bike, right? My dad was on the 650, which, 100 mile an hour bike. Brothers on the Thruxton, 160 mile, fast bike. Brothers in the van with the trailer on, so he was going steady anyway, but we'd arranged a rendezvous at Hopwood Park Services, I think it was. So My poor little Tiger 90, I'm on the motorway trying to keep up with modern traffic and everything. I was wringing its neck, right? I was giving it some, doing a good 70 miles an hour down the motorway. It's buzzing away, you know, your feet vibrating off the foot pegs. And this happened, right? So picture the scene. I'm sitting on the bike like this, and all of a sudden, at 70 miles an hour, obviously, just straighten this up a bit, like that. So I'm roaring down the motorway like this. All of a sudden, I see a glint around here, shining. And I'm like, what's that? And the next thing, this glint fired towards me. So I let go of the handlebars and I grabbed it. And it was the bolt out of my tank at the front. And I caught it in my hand, but it slipped through my fingers. So then I ended up with both hands off the handlebars, juggled it a lot, and then threw it behind me. So it would have been the most epic catch in the history of the world, but I dropped it. So if anyone's driving down the M42 and sees a 3/8 26 TPI stud in the slow lane, if you could pick it up, that'd be great. So we get to Shelsley. I've only got one tank bolt on, and I wanted to race it up the hill, and no one had one, and an M8's too fat for that hole. So as you can see, zip ties to the rescue. The old zip ties held it in place just long enough for me to blast this up the hill about 6 times. So we get there. It was great, blasting it up the hill. I mean, it's geared wrong. It's geared wrong for Shelsley Walsh hill climb. So basically, the only way I could do the hill at any kind of speed was flat out in second gear. I mean, like balls out, red line, second gear. And I did it 6 times, and oh bless its little cotton socks, it didn't leak, it didn't let me down, didn't overheat. That 7-plate clutch off the line, brilliant, brilliant. So yeah, absolutely cracking weekend. I've got some footage that other people have taken, obviously, so I'm going to post that on this video, stick some video footage on. Chap called Dennis, who I met, he was riding up the hill as well. I can't remember what bike he was on now. Big bike. Anyway, he had a really nice like GoPro camera thing. And when you've been up Shelsley Walsh Hill, they collect you at the top and then ride you down slowly. And he said, I'll ride down behind you. And he filmed me going all the way down the hill on the Thruxton, on the Tiger 90, which is really nice of him. And he sent me the video. He has got a YouTube channel called Intruder Media, something like that. What I'll do is I'll put a link to his video from the event in the description box of this video, so you can click on it and have a look. He's got a really good video, summarizes the whole weekend, real good feel for it. Very good. You can subscribe to his channel or whatever. So I've got a few bits and bobs to post on there and show you what we did at the weekend, but I need to fix my bike because I lost a bolt out of it. Right, so the other night I was going to film all this, didn't do it because I just didn't. So I found a bit of stainless steel, and I machined it down to about 9.5mm, which is about 3/8, and got my die, 3/8 26 turns die. Machined myself up a stud. So I've got a stud here. I'm now caught up on bloody microphones. So over to the bench. We've got some nuts, and I've also got spring washers this time. Lesson learned. So that's got to go on the bike. So I'm going to do that now, I think. Does that deserve a bit of funky music and a sped up video? Yeah, probably. Yeah, cue the music. Okay, trying not to pull the camera over with my microphone wire. So, folks, I think we've come to the end of the Tiger 90 story. So, yeah, obviously, bit of a recap. I've owned this since I was 17. Abused it as a teenager, over the years. Said various things. I've powder coated the frame and stuff. paint was done by a colleague at Aston Martin. So it's got an Aston Martin paint job, which a lot of people admired at the weekend, actually. And the engine was ready for a build because I blew it up racing my next door neighbour on his Black Shadow. So I think the moral of the story is if you've got a Tiger 90, don't try racing Vincent Black Shadows. It ends in tears. So there's been loads of people to thank along the way, right? Justin Harvey James helped me out, give me a book and everything. Great guy. He was very helpful on the videos. Patrick Seeger did the machine work on the bottom of the engine and bored it out. Brilliant guy. Long waiting list, but people with long waiting lists are always good. So engine's brilliant. It withstood being thrashed up Shelsley Walsh and thrashing it all the way there and all the way home as well. She's great. She's great. Got a lot of attention at the Triumph Owners rally. A couple of people said, "Oh, hey, I saw you watch your videos." So that's really nice as well. You know, I make these hoping that they help people fix their bikes. So yeah, it's great. So it's the end of the story really for this one. And I know you're waiting for me to put all the Shelsley Walsh video clips on. Little excuse, right? First video clip I'm going to put on is my first run up the hill, and I'd gone it into third for the S's at the top, and I lost all my revs, but I couldn't really change down to second, so we lose the noise. Anyway, I'm not making excuses. The subsequent runs were much faster. I did a run on the Thruxton as well, but the tyres were cold, and off the start line I gave it some. Bloody thing stepped sideways on the line. Anyway, yeah, Thruxton's good up that hill. Oof, yes, it is. So there we go. Finished. Next project is, I don't know what the next project is. I'm going to have to surprise everybody with it. Yeah, one thing to mention. A couple of videos ago, I had a little bit of a moan, a little bit of a whinge about internet moderators in Facebook groups. I think I'm trying to be politically correct about it, right? In a 350, 500 group, people talk about 350s and 500s, right? All I talk about. Anyway, obviously upsetting in some way. I'm banned, right? Got banned out of the group. Me and another couple of guys actually all got banned from the group because we talk about Triumph engines, and you're not allowed to talk about Triumph engines in a Triumph engine group, apparently. So anyway, we set up our own. We started a new Facebook group. So now I'm an internet moderator. Brilliant. So if you wanna go on there, it's Triumph C range engines, which are these engines. Triumph C range engines, 350, 500 enthusiasts. And me and Kirby have set that up. And our plan is that we're not going to be the internet police. If you want to talk about motorbikes, as long as you're talking about these, great. Say what you want. Have an endless conversation about what oil to put in. We don't care. I'm not going to ban anybody. So hopefully that'll be a bit more of a friendly forum. I think there's about 40 people joined in the space of a couple of days. Hopefully it'll become a bit popular. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. So you can join that, follow along on there if you want to. So yeah, end of the story. Right, so videos of Shelsley. I think there's one video of me going up the hill. Again, first run. Sorry about that. I was faster on subsequent ones. There's a great video from Dennis of me riding down the hill. It looks really good, and throttle shut all the way, so you just get over going down the hill. Brilliant. And it shows you a bit of the pits and things like that. And I'll throw some photos up of our camping setup, glamping setup for the weekend and all that. So yeah, brilliant weekend. I'd like to thank the Triumph Owners Motorcycle Club and Steve and Luca, people like that. They put on such a fantastic do at Shelsley. I mean, you know, renting that place got to be a 20 grand gig, right? And you're relying on people coming. People came from all over the world. The Danish Triumph owners were there, the Swedish, the Italians, the French. People. It was proper global affair. Really, really good. Yeah, really great atmosphere. And it would be great if it was on every year, to be honest. But yeah, there we go. So thanks to all those folks. End of an era. Don't know what's next. I will let you know. And we'll see what happens. But here's some cool videos and stuff from that weekend that I built this for. Fill your boots.